Hello, friend. So, in this session, we will talk about Fslogix troubleshooting. We have seen in previous videos how to configure Fslogix, how to use security features there, and now we will talk about how to troubleshoot Fslogix. So that would be more. We will talk about more logins, where we can find the logs, and how do we read them, and we'll talk about the best practices. So let's start talking about the best practice for the Fslogix. And there are 5 best practices which I would say we should do when we implementing Fslogix. First, always try to use the latest version if it suits to your requirement. Number 2, always have a proper antivirus exclusions. And number 3, use a dedicated profile share because uh, it could be you can share this profile, share with other services, but when it comes to performance, if you have multiple shares on the same host or same sources, it could that you might other source will use a lot of resources and your profiles source will not get that many resources for the users when they're logging in. So it could affect. And this is mostly when you have an enterprise based solution for the labs. There is no difference. And you should have some kind of monitoring on your file share so that you know that there is a better IOPS on the network share where you are storing profile shares, FSLogix container, I mean, and you have a very good less latency between that. There are many type of loggings you can enable in FSLogix, so it depends on how much logging you want to do. And I have enabled FSLogix normal login, so we will look into those logs. So I'm using some kind of latest version of Fslogix in my lab. And let's talk about the second point, which is about antivirus exclusions. And if you Google on and you go to the Microsoft website, you will find what should be excluded. It's well defined. Always keep visiting this link, which comes to overview prerequisites for the Fslogix. And here you will find very good content about what should be excluded, and there are many other blogs as well talking about the same thing. I will write a blog about this in as well on my website, which is ittechieminds.com. So you will find that information there as well very soon. So that was the second topic, and now third topic is about use dedicated net profile share. So I'm using an this is, as I said, this is my lab environment, so I'm using a uh, profile share which is shared with multiple services. But yeah, make sure you have proper permissions, NTFS permissions, and so you don't have any problem from the permission sides when it's about creating profile or updating or reading. Otherwise the profiles will not get created, or there will be problems in updating the data on the profiles. There could be X number of issues. And yeah, file share is a must. And also you need to look few values. Let's go to the logs. Where do you find the logs for the Fslogix if you have an issue? So let's go, and the logs you can find on the VDA side is you need to go program data, and then we go into the Microsoft. Oh, I'm on the wrong machine. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is the video where I have the Fslogix software installed. So I think I have it open, or I can obviously open it. No, it's not open. So you go to the program data, and in program data we have Fslogix, and here we have the folders called logs. And in the logs, as I said, there are multiple kind of logs we can enable in Fslogix. It depends on the requirement. And how will you enable that? You will go to the your policy, and then you go to the edit settings of your Fslogix, and then you go inside more, and you go in Fslogix. Then you have logins, and now here you will see You have many kind of logins enabled, but I have enabled it, and I'm using only container based profile logins. So in case you need more logs, you need to enable this, and according to your requirement, and then you will have more data to read on the VDA sites in the logins. So come back here, and I will go to my profile folder, as I said, and here you can see whole sequences for the logs, what actually is happening. You will be able to find all the errors here, and you will be able to troubleshoot. That is the best way for all the Fslogix engineers or administrators do it. Actually, I find it very useful, and you can see all kind of logs here for the users and catch it and solve it. Actually, I would say that. And another is like you need to make sure, suppose you are not getting the Fslogix profile container created, so you need to first ensure that you have a correct GPO. Correct GPO is mapped to the OU where your machine is residing. Like in my case, it's here, and my VDA machine is this. So I have a machine in the right OU, and the GPO is pointed on here as well. You should also need to see the permissions. You have right permissions, and yeah, it shouldn't be disabled here. It should be enabled. Uh, yeah, and delegations. Mostly it's a default. Nobody else. Most people don't change it, but yeah, some organizations have different templates and settings according to the security requirements. So just have a look here. And when it comes to settings, you need to see that you have right settings enabled, right path defined for the VHD locations. Yeah, if these settings are correct, you should get the Fslogix profile when you log in. Yeah. One thing also need to ensure that you have a Fslogix application installed on the VDA. Otherwise, you won't get the Fslogix container even though you have a GPO. So the software should be installed on the client machine. In my case, it's a VDM server running for 25. Yeah, and then you can definitely do an RSOP on the client side to see you are getting an Fslogix policy here. I think I can show you. This will also give you information about what policy you're getting in. Sometimes you make changes to the policy and the policy doesn't apply, so you need to do a GP update /force on the client side to see that okay, you get settings. So when I did RSOP, it will give me a resultant set of policies which are pushed on my machine. There it go. So you can see I have got all the settings actually what is placed for my Fslogix. Yeah, all are here. With GPO is pushing it, so I can see it here as well. So it gives okay, I'm getting settings on my client side, and another way is also verify. You go to mostly normal users don't have rights to do that in the most of the environment, but administrators have rights to go to the disk management, see are we getting disk? Yeah, I'm getting disk from Fslogix. This is my Fslogix disk, One thing also, make sure you have a space on your profile share. Otherwise, there's sometime we don't look in at that side, and then you should have good monitoring actually for the profile share. If you don't have it, sometimes we miss that alarms, and most all the other users start getting issues with the container mapping. Maybe cannot write anything. They are losing data when they log out, because there is no space left, and they lose out, And yeah, as I said, you can definitely change. There are a lot of settings you can do. Also, like what kind of logins you need. You can play around with the registry settings in HKLM software Fslogix login, and you can change the value in case you need more deep logging. Actually, I would say log severity. 0 is for none, 1 is for error, 2 is for warning, 3 is for info, and 4 is for verbose. So if you set that value to 4, you will get too much logging actually. might be needed for troubleshooting. Check the event logs for the Fslogix. That's where we find it. Always ensure that you have proper antivirus exclusion for Fslogix. Otherwise, it could affect the performance for the users when they're logging in. They might you have a fast system, but you have a slowness because your antivirus is putting pressure on Fslogix process. So you need to ensure that you have proper process excluded and the path excluded and the VHD files is excluded in your terms. So now, if you want to read more about Fslogix, what is happening, you go to the application services logs, Microsoft Fslogix, and then here you have apps. You can see admin based logs here. And the most important is these. So you can read basically what exactly is happening for when your Fslogix is this. So I have many errors and I should need look into this and try to troubleshoot it, solve it. Yeah, it's a Microsoft theme package. Yeah. So some tweaking is needed in my environment and just lab. So in these logs, you will definitely find a lot of useful information when you have issues. So don't forget to read these logs as well and the log files. And yeah, make sure you have a VHD size limit set. So via GPU actually. And also check that the container for the user has not reached that limit. If it has reached this limit, user will get problem. So there are a few facts you need to look in, and permissions is most important, and your exclusion is important, and yeah, you can use system tray for Fslogix to see the status of your VHDs and troubleshooting. You could use FRX SVC process actually that is excluded. FRX ccd.exe, FRX tray.exe must be excluded in the antivirus. As I said, antivirus is very important. Otherwise, you may jump into issues. And many people sometimes miss it actually. And in application logs, sometimes if the user profile is not the Fslogix PSD is not mapping, you must look for the event ID 1521, 1511 application logs, which should say user profile cannot be loaded. Yeah, there could be n number of symptoms. Sometimes we have settings in Fslogix that delete local user profile when the user log in with Fslogix. So yeah, I think the event logs and will give you a lot of information when you have issues and the log files. I hope you like this video, and don't forget to look my next video series which is coming for OBER monitoring in Citrix. And there are a lot of things I'm evaluating and testing actually will be uploading about it. Also, don't forget to watch my cybersecurity channel. We have lots new coming there actually. I'm done with my testings and everything, so enjoy the channel.